Hi, I'm Nicole from the Dressing Your Truth Salon, and this is Lisa.
Hi everyone.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Nicole.
I really appreciate it. Well, since the backcombing tutorial, many of you have asked me, what are some techniques that I can use to support volume in my curly hair? And I'm so glad you asked, because there are many things that you can do to support your curly hair in giving you and showing you the most volume and curl in your hair. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you have the right haircut. The haircut is crucial for curl. In fact, layers are really what makes it work for you. Layers will immediately give you some volume. Now, it depends on what type of curl you have, depends on what type of cut you'll have. For example, if you have really tight, kinky curly hair, you're not going to want to cut short layers at your roots because it'll bounce into little nubs at your roots. So it's going to depend on the type of curl you have. So again, if you have that tight curl, then make sure the layers are a little bit longer. If you have a little bit more of a wavy, longer curl, then you can maybe go a little bit shorter with the layers just because it doesn't bounce up so much. So layers are critical. Again, if you cut off length and a little bit of the bulk in the sides here, it'll naturally bounce everything up because there's not so much weighing it down. And it allows your curl to just balance out. What we're wanting to create is volume up top and creating balance. If you don't have layers, then what happens is your roots get really flat and then you get really big out here. And it creates a triangle or a Christmas tree type of look. Not what we're going for. So layers then create everything, kind of bounce everything up and create balance in your style, which is awesome. The next thing that will support your curly hair and volume in your curly hair is hair product and using the right product. Now, in order for us to get started on this, we need to get Lisa's hair wet. So we'll be right back. Like I was saying, hair product is important. So the first thing I'm going to use is Root Lifter. Root Lifter and Mousse are excellent in creating volume in your crown area. This particular product is called Root Boost, the Dressing Your Truth label. And I like to use this product first just because my hands aren't going to be all slippery with other product and I can actually hold on to it in order to create and spray the little nozzle. So what I do with this product is to create about 5 strips across the top of the head. And basically what you're doing is just it's localized volume. So you just spray it right at the root. It's a little cold, as you know. And we just come through and just lift maybe like 1-inch sections or so. And it's localized because it comes out of the nozzle. You could just place it right where you want it. So let's say in your crown area, it like over here doesn't lift the way that you want it to. Just really focus the product right in that area. Otherwise, I'm just going to come across the top of the head and even do 1 strip in the back of the crown area. This is really great to do as well if you have longer layers in the front of the hair. Just because those longer layers are weighing the hair down, you just need as much support as you can get. Lisa has an A-line cut, which is really supportive for her because the length in the back seems to grow longer and faster than the front does. And so as it grows out, it looks a little bit more natural and a little bit all more one length. But in the meantime, she's got this A-line and we've got all of these layers back here that then create more volume. So really a great cut, something that's really supportive. Now I'm going to use the Weightless Styling Mousse and I'm going to take a couple pumps of this. Don't need too much of it. And I really love how these two products partner together. And a lot of people will put the mousse on top, but that's not as supportive of where we want that to be. So I lift it with my thumbs and stick it underneath, right where we put that root lifter. They partner fantastic. Okay. And now, Lisa's mentioned to me that she gets a lot of frizz in the front. And so what I'm going to use is the Hair Repair. This is a moist leave-in kind of therapy, and she kind of puts it close near her face, right where those frizzies show up a lot for curly hair, and especially in the back as well where you sleep. It kind of gets frizzy in the back. So I'm just going to take maybe a dime size of that, put it through my hands, and just kind of work it through the front pieces where we get a lot of frizz. Try not to touch it too much because again, touching it creates frizz as well. But just kind of working it through a little bit. She's got these little frizzies near her face that we just want to give extra love to. And underneath as well. Her curl is super tight underneath here, which I think happens for a lot of women. In the nape of the neck, the curl gets really tight. Okay, and then for overall, we're gonna use just a cream gel. And this is the Creamy Curling Gel by Dressing Your Truth. And you want enough of the product to go through every strand of hair. So enough that it's going to form and kind of give support to the curl. Let me just kind of scrunch it in. With trying not to get it all over your face. Now the root lifter and the mousse are activated by heat. So you're gonna want to use some type of diffuser or something like that in order to really get the most effect out of the root lifter and the mousse. Those two products that we put in first. Okay, look at me. Let's make sure that we've got all your product worked through here. Now also another technique, if you're needing a little bit more support in the front, you can use a technique I call finger twirling. And so some of these pieces are not as curly as I'd like them to be. And so what I'm going to do is you can see how this strand of hair is already creating a little bit of an S wave. So I'm going to support that and go with the curl and just wrap it around my finger and bounce it up just a little bit so then it actually supports it. It's kind of defining the curl to give it a place to lay and then to dry. So some of these pieces that are a little bit too straight for my liking, we just kind of come through, twist them around a little bit, bounce them up, just give them a little bit of extra support. And like she said, there's lots of curl back here, so we don't have to really worry about that. But just some of those pieces in the front. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're ready to diffuse. And the diffuser is a really great tool to be able to get those roots dry. So what happens is this is the diffuser and the air comes out of these little nozzles, and what we're doing is placing it right at the root, and this is going to dry the root first and then come through the strand. And that's what we want to do because we've put the hair product in there, is we're wanting to focus and get those roots dry. But before that, I'm going to show you one other technique that's really awesome. And this is called, actually I haven't come up with a name for it, but what you're going to use is these little alligator clips. You can see here. And they can be two-pronged or just one-prong. And you can find these at your local beauty supply or even your local craft store too. They use these for crafts all the time. Now, Lisa's mentioned to me that she wants more volume in the crown area. And with my hair, there's this one area that grows forward and I don't get as much volume. And so you could do this anywhere where you want more volume. So what I'm gonna do is wrap the hair around my finger and pull my finger out. And as I'm lifting the root, I take this little alligator clip and clip the little curl to the root so that the root is up and away from the scalp. This is what's going to help support your hair create that volume. One thing that you're going to want to make sure is instead of fanning out the hair and making it flat around your finger, if we do it that way, then what happens is when I take out the pin, it actually looks like a flat iron curl or a curling iron curl. So if we want it to look consistent with her other natural curl, instead of fanning it out over my finger, I'm just gonna